Manifest's callings can be explained in a variety of ways, and we've got all our theories for it. Despite all the time they've spent doing their bidding, the Flight 828 passengers are still nowhere close to understanding where they came from or who, if anyone, is in charge of them. We've got some ideas. It's about to get super exciting as we deep dive into all the theories surrounding the callings, so sit tight. First up, the mystery surrounding the callings. In the wise word of Lady Gaga, stop calling, I don't want to talk anymore. Except the poor passengers of Flight 828 have no choice. Ben, Michaela, Sanvi, and the others have come to various key realizations concerning the show's biggest secrets during the course of the season. They've discovered information regarding the death date, as well as disappearances that parallel their own. Their experiences have led to the development of the lifeboat theory, as well as few other conclusions concerning their situation. One of the most important is the realization that in order to survive the death date, they must comply with the calling's demands. Characters like Ben have no reservations about it, especially because the callings frequently demand them to help others. In the lack of any definite answers as to the true origins of the callings, many of the passengers of the Flight 828 have resigned themselves to just doing what these inexplicable messages require of them, in the hopes that their efforts may eventually lead to a satisfactory conclusion. With Manifest Season 4 just around the corner, we sense huge revelations concerning the callings on the horizon. Or so we hope. Next, divine messages. Some believe that the key characters in Manifest have already figured out the answers to the show's central puzzle. A number of the Flight 828 passengers have believed since the beginning of the series that everything that's occurring to them is divine in nature. In other words, the callings are sent by God or some divine force. The idea that a God is behind it all is the prevailing theory for both the audience and the characters because the messages ask them to do good things. It's also backed up by the revelation that traces of sapphire, a claimed divine signature, have been linked to every disappearance on the show. Not only that, but Manifest has shown that the same phenomena that caused the Flight 828 to vanish was also responsible for Noah's Ark escaping the biblical flood. Next, evil calling. One of the characters who at first believed that something heavenly was at work has since adopted the complete opposite perspective. Adrian, who formerly led a church that celebrated the passengers as marvels of God, now believes the callings are wicked, implying that the callings are under the power of a malignant, if not demonic, entity. This concept is based on Adrian's belief that the callings are a ruse. He believes the passengers are being duped into believing the callings are good in order for them to blindly follow them and unintentionally serve as agents of the apocalypse. Despite Ben's dismissal of Adrian's rationale as irrational dabbling, his logic makes some sense, don't you think? The fact that Ben and some of the others have accepted them so quickly raises the likelihood that the callings aren't as good as they assume. There's also the issue of this mysterious force that assassinated Corey and Pete after Jace failed the test. If you can recall, the callings punished 2 people for the misdeeds of others, which fueled speculation that the passengers were being duped by an inherently evil entity. And now, figment of imagination. Cal's exact position on the series is being speculated about by fans, in part because he is the traveler with the strongest links to the callings. His character's disappearance and reappearance 5 years later in the Manifest Season 3 finale added to our suspicion. Cal had to have traveled across time based on what had happened to him. There's nothing in the program that suggests where or when he went, but one probable possibility is that Cal traveled to the future. If that's the case, it explains why Cal informed Grace he knew what they needed to do right now. This theory has grown that Cal is not only more sensitive to the callings, but he's also the one who invented them. Cal may have found out what has to happen after traveling to the future in order to finally beat the death date. Maybe he used his knowledge of future events to physically message back into the past as one point to ensure the characters complete their tasks. If that's the case, then he's the source of every calling they've ever received. The most compelling argument against his theory is how powerful Cal would become as a result of it. Up next, parallel universe. It's possible that the callings aren't from anyone, instead that the callings are secret windows into a parallel universe. Many people believe that the presence of another reality is at the heart of each of Manifest's biggest mysteries. It makes sense, right? The recovered wreckage of the jet from the ocean has been a significant head-scratcher for the passenger and the Eureka team. Given that they know the plane exploded exploded. However, if there is an alternate world, this could explain why there are two planes. It's possible they passed through some interdimensional wormhole. If this is the case, the callings could be visions from Manifest's parallel realm, showing them how things transpired or were destined to happen in the other world. In other worlds, the callings could be glimpses into another universe rather than warnings. They could come directly from the main character's counterparts, or they could be the product of the universe self-correcting and attempting to repair any damage to the chronology caused by the passengers first crossed over. We think if the show leaned toward a less religious and more science fiction-oriented explanation, a version of this could work on Manifest. A slight horror touch could work perfectly too. Like the last episode's moments, Cal's first sketch of the calling, the family with a dark shadow behind them, which is discovered early on by Olive, he first notices the figure growing larger, and then two other people join it later. And at the end of the episode, we see Adrian surrounded in a dark alley by three dark, shadowy beings that look eerily identical to the painting. The figures then arrive in Cal's room, but when he turns on the light, they vanish. So creepy, we got goosebumps. Maybe that was a clue. Guess we'll have to wait for season 4 for answers. Now in other related news, cryptic message causes frenzy. The 4th season of Manifest is one of the most eagerly awaited of the year, and its creator, Jeff Rake, ignited a massive buzz when he tweeted about the forthcoming premiere. Following NBC's cancellation of Manifest in May 2021, fans worked tirelessly to run a viral campaign to rescue the show, and it worked. Netflix stepped in and agreed to stream season 4, but fans were pushed into a frenzy after the show's creators tweeted a cryptic tweet which put them into a frenzy. An interaction between Jeff Rake and Stephen King regarding the show's release date ignited a social media craze among fans, who were surprised to find the famous author was a fan. Others were ecstatic to learn that the debut of season 4 could be sooner than expected. Mr. King, when you find out, please let us know. Next, filming has started. We already knew that filming on the first half of the series had completed and that the cast and crew were taking a vacation. Now that production appears to be back on track, the cameras are rolling for the last stretch of episodes. So how do we know that filming has resumed? Melissa Roxburgh, who plays Michaela, is responsible for this. She took a selfie and captioned it, "Day 1" on her Instagram stories, tagging the official Manifest Instagram account. That's a fairly good indication that filming has resumed. It's also bittersweet because while we're excited for the new season, it also means our beloved show is one step closer to ending. And now the time jump in season 4. Owing to Manifest's significant time jump, 6 major stories for season 4 may be missed. Apparently the following season will not continue up just where the last one left off in the season 3 finale. Josh Dallas revealed in a recent interview that Manifest season 4 will begin with a 2-year time leap. While 2 years is certainly a lengthy period, the fact that the series is taking this route isn't entirely surprising. The show's decision to go this route was one of several choices examined when it came to finding a solution to Manifest's timeline problem. When the 4th season of Manifest coming to an end, it became imperative for the show to find a way to transport the Flight 828 passengers to June 2024 in a single season rather than 3. Some thought Manifest would achieve this goal by giving multiple time jumps every few episodes, but that will not be the case. Instead, at the start of the season, Manifest will jump 2 years ahead. Not sure how we feel about that yet. That's a wrap for this video. What's your theory on the origin of the callings? Which one of these resonate with you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.